I know.
Updates.
All right. So you guys just got a prompt that we are recording now because we are going to be recording this so we can share this with other people. And feel free to share it with your folks at your department because we are going to post it to CDFA's external website. So let me make sure there you go.
All right. Fantastic. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to give you kind of the all about Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And then we're going to explain what exactly is a developmental disability. And then we're going to talk about some of our current inclusion efforts that we have going on at the department that we're really excited about, also in partnership with the administration. So Governor Newsom sent out a proclamation proclaiming March as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, which was really exciting. And that was a great opportunity to just raise awareness of our population and the needs. And then we have a Think Differently Neurodiversity and Hiring Initiative, where we've been doing a series of webinars for state managers and supervisors and hiring folks so that they understand how they can broaden their pool of applicants for hiring opportunities. And then Alex, our chair of our Disability Advisory Committee, is going to give a little overview of what they do. So the history of this month is that back in 1987, Ronald Reagan was one who kicked things off with March as National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And so this has really been taken up by the National Association of Councils on Developmental Disabilities. Every state has a council on developmental disabilities. And so they work together with national partners and people like us, primarily a social media campaign, but also proclamations from governors, other elected officials, anything that we can do to raise awareness and really highlight the ways in which people with and without disabilities come together to form strong, diverse communities. So every year, Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month has a theme. This year's theme is a world of opportunities, and it's really about celebrating people working together to remove obstacles. So there are a lot of obstacles, seen and unseen, for individuals with developmental disabilities. So we have the hashtags listed here. If anyone is so inspired to join the social media part of this or just look at things on there, please feel free to. All right, so Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month raises awareness of the benefits of inclusion, how we need to eliminate barriers for people with developmental disabilities, reaffirms a commitment to creating a community where individuals with and without developmental disabilities can succeed, and it supports the needs for providing equal access to opportunities for people with developmental disabilities. So by now you're probably asking, just what the heck is a developmental disability? Well, a developmental disability is a lifelong challenge. It could be intellectual, physical, or both. Some examples are cerebral palsy, epilepsy, autism, sometimes Down syndrome. So those are ones that people are really familiar with. Developmental disabilities can affect a person's ability to take care of themselves, communicate or express themselves, how they learn, or their ability to move around. So to be eligible for services from DDS, a person must have a developmental disability that began before their 18th birthday and is expected to continue for their whole life. Qualifying conditions are defined in the Lanterman Act, and then eligibility is established through one of our 21 local regional centers that do the case management, establishing eligibility, and then contracting with direct service providers to provide services. And I apologize, I'm probably talking too fast. I always do that. But feel free, if you have any questions, just let me know. We have some people in the room as well. So this next slide is just a link to the governor's proclamation. Like I said, it's always quite a coup when you can get the governor to recognize your event. So we were very excited about this and promoted it far and wide. So anyone with social media accounts that wants to retweet or share it, please do. Anything that we can do to get the word out is fantastic. But this really aligns with legislative and administration priorities and investments in the developmental disability service system. Over the last probably about 10 years, we've really seen services built, resources specified just for our system that we hadn't necessarily seen before. We've got a growing population, we've got an aging population, there's a lot of new pieces to the puzzle that need to be figured out. So we're developing new service models and new residential models and new ways of serving individuals to meet those growing needs, especially amongst the autism population. So we have a couple representatives from our autism group here in the room today, but do you have a good statistic, Linda, on the number of autism folks? It's like, yeah, almost 50%. That's what I thought. I didn't want to say it wrong, so glad I checked with the expert. But yeah, almost 50% of the people who receive services from the Department of Developmental Disabilities have autism. It could be a co-occurring diagnosis, or it could be on its own. And the department serves over 400,000 Californians with developmental disabilities. So there's a lot, and it's growing. The next item that I want to talk about is our Think Differently Neurodiversity in Hiring webinar series. So our next one is coming up on April 8th. We will share the information with your Disability Advisory Committee so that they can put the word out as well. But it's really about attracting and including neurodiverse employees to state employment. So we share some current research. We have panel discussions featuring people with lived experiences. We're really trying to reduce some of the stigma and misunderstanding that's out there. Employers don't pay for the additional supports that people may need. There's ways to work with that, and it's not as labor intensive as people think it is. There's a lot of misconceptions about how hard it is to hire somebody that's neurodiverse. And then we talk about the state internship program with the Department of Rehabilitation, and that's a fantastic resource for getting people on board. And then the Department of Developmental Services, we have our own employment grant program. And so that's also about broadening the opportunities for individuals with developmental disabilities to be employed, make their money, and find the worth in doing a job that they want to do. All right. So with that, I will turn it over to Alex to talk about our Disability Advisory Committee.
Hello. So the Department of Developmental Services, our Disability Advisory Committee, our role is to educate employees about disabilities in the workplace, develop plans to overcome and correct underrepresentation, assess and identify department and program concerns, and facilitate growth by encouraging more employees to join the committee. And I'll kind of go over some details on what those things look like. So how we educate our employees about disabilities is we've been providing trainings. Some of the trainings we've been providing were autism, acceptance, ways to communicate. Everyone, receives and communicates information very differently. And so we did a training on that. We did a training on Stop Stigma. So that was behind mental health. So removing stigma, discrimination, and shame. We've had internal staff who are subject matter experts on autism and other, disabilities do lunchtime learning training. So it's been very, very helpful, and we've gotten a lot of positive feedback from it. That's something that the training we do like either every month or every other month. So it's occurring pretty often. As far as developing plans, some of the things that we've been doing is working with our Equal Employment Office. It's also called the Office of, oh my goodness, it's Rights and Advocacy Services. Sorry.
Human Rights and Advocacy Services. Oh, Ross.
Oh, Ross.
Sorry. We love us a good acronym.
Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
So we've been working with ORAS and our Human Resources Department on developing recruiting individuals with disabilities to work for the department. So it's been kind of an ongoing process, but we're making some progress there. It's been very, very rewarding. As far as assessing and identifying, concerns, one of the big things that we've been doing, more so when we were in our older building, was making sure that it was complying with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Our building was a little bit older, so there were a lot of areas where it wasn't in compliance. And so
CDFA wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Our former building has been stripped down to the concrete studs. We were over at 9th and P. It was the Bateson building. But yes, I think yours was on the same list that ours was of ones that needed some revamping.
Interesting. Yeah, it was definitely had a lot of issues. And so the DAC, that was like one of the big things that we were working on, is making sure that the doors were working properly. A lot of the times, like, the buttons weren't working, and we do have, employees who are in wheelchairs. So that was definitely a problem, like getting into the bathrooms, our doors, like the automatic sensors stopped working. So I know DGS, they loved me. I was a huge advocate for, getting those things fixed. And so I'd participate in their monthly meetings and just continuously, like, bring up, concerns, because it was a big problem. Not so much now in our new building, but employees have been pretty good about letting me know when there are some issues. And, I've been, as a DAC, we've been really advocating to get these things fixed. It's come with its challenges, but we're still, on just an ongoing thing. So one of the things too is we really encourage employees, if they do see that there's an issue with like ADA related things or other things, really, like, just to come talk with the DAC and we can address their concerns. So that's been pretty good. And then as far as facilitating DAC growth, I've been really trying to advocate to all of our employees to come join the DAC. We have annual meetings with the whole department. So I've been, talking at those meetings to everybody, just to encourage them to join, kind of explain like what we do. And even if I see people in the hallway, I'm like, hey, let me tell you about the DAC. So it's been actually pretty successful. We went from having, I think, like maybe 5 people to like over maybe between like 10 and 15. So it's been, well, it might not seem like a lot of employees. It's been kind of a challenge to get people to join, but we did it, and it's great. So as far as the DAC, yeah, that's pretty much a little bit about our DAC. And then we were going to do some disability awareness activities with you guys.
All right, I see that there are 5 items in the chat, but I cannot see what those 5 items are. So do you want to just check and see if there's any questions in there, JJ or Alex?
Yeah, so people were asking about where do we find information about the employment grant. So I put in the link to that.
Great.
And then people were asking about the Think Differently webinars, and it sounds like you announced that one is coming up and we're going to be sharing that.
Yep, it's going to be April 8th, and it's in the morning generally. And as soon as we get an invite finalized, we'll share it with folks here, and they can distribute it widely.
And then I just entered links to our Twitter page and our Facebook page and our website page.
Thank you, JJ.
Self-promotion. I like it. That's always in order. All right. Do we have any questions here in the room? All right. Well, Alex, you want to kick us off with some of the disability awareness activities?
Absolutely. Okay, so the first activity we're going to do, I'm going to kind of explain it a little bit. It's kind of going over hearing impairments. So hearing impairments, it includes everything from not being able to hear certain sounds to being, deaf and hard of hearing. In most cases, a hearing loss doesn't mean that sounds aren't loud enough. It usually means that they're garbled or unclear. A hearing aid, it can make speech louder, but does not necessarily make it clearer. So one of the activities we're going to do is lip reading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to just say a sentence, and then I'm going to see if anyone could pick up on what I'm saying. So
All right, so I'll say, how can we make her bigger on here?
And then let me know when you guys are ready and I'll start.
And do you want people to raise their hand if they want to take a stab at it, or what's the best way to?
You can raise your hand. You can comment in the chat, whatever is easy. You can also just kind of call it out too. That's okay. And then if you want me to repeat, I'm happy to do that as well.
And then I'll watch for people on Zoom. If they raise their hand, I'll call on them. No problem.
Perfect. And all you people don't volunteer at once. Okay. I was gonna say, yeah, do that again.
I was gonna say, Alex, you're on mute. We can't hear you, but that's the whole point.
All right, we have some guesses in the room that says, thank you for coming today. Is that what you said? No, darn.
Oh, somebody in the chat said, so difficult. Yes, Haley, I agree.
Does anyone else want to take a guess? I could repeat it as well. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, let's have you repeat it one more time.
All right, and now repeat it at how you would normally speak, because I can see that you're slowing it down for us. So just show people how challenging it is to catch normal conversation with lip reading. Yeah, no idea.
Oh, wait, we have one in the chat. What did they say? Oh, thanks for coming. Oh, did you say thanks for coming today?
No, but thank you for coming today. So what I said was the cat is wearing a big hat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not
So
even close.
Yeah. So tell me like what that was like to try to lip read what I said.
Yeah. It was tough.
Yeah. It really, really is. Well, you guys guessed really well. Thank you for participating. The next activity we're gonna do, it is, give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna have JJ explain an image and have you guys draw that image out. And then if you want, you can show us the image and then or raise your hand. You can just show it on the camera. If you're in person, you can show us. And then we'll, at the end, we'll show you like what JJ was trying to describe. Good luck, JJ.
Grab a piece of scratch paper and a pencil, and let's try our luck at being artists by direction.
And a little background on this activity, it's kind of going over intellectual disability. So when a person has intellectual disability, it does mean that they learn at a slower pace because they do learn more slowly. They don't learn as much as maybe other people might. And so there are, many different causes for intellectual disability, but not everyone with an intellectual disability, they're alike. One person, their issues can be more mild, and while others, it could be more severe. And then JJ, I'm gonna let you take this one away.
Okay.
Oh, yep.
All right, so everybody has their paper and their pencil or pen. Here we go. So put your pen or pencil on the piece of paper on the upper left corner. And then you're going to start drawing a continuous line based on what I'm telling you. So you're going, look, I'm using my hand because I talk with my hand. So draw a line kind of going downward a little bit and keep going till about the middle of the paper. And then you're going to go up just a little and then curve back up towards where you started without touching. Then you're going to go straight across to the right. not all the way to the end, maybe just leave a little space. And then you're going to kind of curve out, go down, and then curve into the left, go down, curve out to the right. And then basically at the same as what you did above, go down, a little more space this time, then go left, go farther in this time, a little more past half, go down about the same length, then you're going to go back out to the right, but you're going to curve in a little sooner than above and keep curving a little wider, go down a little ways. And then you're going to curve straight up like it's a finger, go up, then go left, and then go back down like it's a finger the other way, curve back up, and then curve back down like it's a thumb, and then curve back up, and then you're going to kind of curve all the way back up to the top to where you originally started.
I feel like I may as well have been trying to lip read that.
Okay, so before we share, some people put for the previous exercise, never would have got that. Great guesses. And I love this one. My coffee was not enough for this activity.
I love it.
Okay, so should I screen share the image of what I was explaining before we have people share, or do you want people to share first?
Let's see what people drew, and then
Okay.
afterwards we'll show them the image.
And Julie said, I've learned I'm not great at following directions. Okay, who wants to share their image? Ooh, let's see what Gabby's got.
I like Gabby's. That's about where I was too.
They give up.
Good job, Gabby.
Not bad.
And then Genevieve. Oh, we have some other people. This is great.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, good job.
Oh, I like the nice bold lines on Aaron's. That makes it easier to see.
Oh, let's see. Brenda, are you going to share? There goes Brenda. Nice. We have some people in the room, Amy.
We have some great ones in the room. Does anyone want to hold it up for a camera to see, or not? We'll just keep it amongst ourselves how close we were, because I think they've all just nailed it. So why don't you go ahead and show what you shared with us?
It says host disabled participant screen sharing. Can somebody give me permission? Unless you want to pull it up, Alex, because I think you have permission.
I can do that. And some quick questions. What were some problems that you guys experienced with this exercise, and what could have helped? And I mean, it's something you guys can also answer after we show you what the image is. And JJ, really great job. I was looking at the image while you were explaining it, and I was like, I was having a difficult time too. It was really awesome, but you did great. You did great. All right.
And I made it so that you could share if, okay, but Alex is, so that works.
There it is. Okay, so I like what Nicole put in the chat. This activity is frequently done to highlight how unclear directions can be and to get people to understand that they need to be incredibly specific when giving directions. You know, and I thought of saying that, go to an inch, half an inch. So it's not just the listener's issue. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And then Julie said, oh, good. I was right on.
I know, like maybe we should do it like as a cat or something next time rather than an abstract puzzle piece, because that's like a little challenging no matter what.
You guys did really well. What would you say aside from that? Like, what other issues did you guys have, and what more do you feel like could have helped with capturing the image or JJ's description?
So Alex or Alejandra said, I felt directions weren't clear enough.
Okay.
And I'm going to type in, I thought JJ did a great job.
I thought JJ did a great job too, but I felt like the directions were fast. That was definitely something where I was like, oh, slow down, or just say that again. So
I lost my orientation.
yeah.
Halfway through when it was now go right, now go left, now go back the way you came. I was like, but what's the way I came? Where was I?
Right.
I lost.
Oh, that's a good one. And then Julie said if I missed one part of the direction, then I felt lost my place. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, but then I was just guessing. I mean, the whole time I was guessing, but then
That was good.
Yeah, you guys did well. Especially with good job, JJ, you too.
That's right. And one more from in the room is there were no increments like 3 inches this way or about 5 inches that way or that sort of thing. So
yeah, someone Nicole mentioned that, and that was a good point. Yeah, I should have. There's other things in the chat. Let's see. It says I went too big at first and then ran out of the page at the bottom. I could have gone with a poster size. That's great. I was too occupied trying. I realize I need glasses when I have my tablet, not on the large monitor. And I've been saying that for a long time. I was too occupied trying to do the second part of the directions, and then I missed everything else, and I gave up. Yep, I think I was going too fast. And then someone else said, giving compound directions makes things really difficult for many people, neurologic typically, and disabled alike. Yep, absolutely.
And it's interesting too, because I was looking at the image while you were describing it, JJ, and I was getting lost. And I was looking at the image. So it was, you guys did great. Thank you for participating. We have another activity. This one is to test your awareness. I'm going to have you guys read the sentence. I'll share my screen again. I want you guys to count the number of F's in the sentence. You only count them once and do not go back and count them again. I will leave it up for like a minute. If you do need more time, just let me know and I'll put it back. So
my inner 12-year-old is giggling at the F's. Oh, thank you for that. Made my day.
Let me see. All right, it's sharing. Let me know when you guys can see it.
Yep, it's there.
We can see it.
Perfect. All right, you guys ready for me to stop sharing? And I guess how many F's are in the sentence?
Yep.
All right, I'll give you guys like 10 more seconds. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. Okay, how many F's did you guys capture in that sentence?
Nicole said 6. Julie said 3. Anybody else? Kathy said 4. Alejandro said 4 or 6. Sorry. Alexia said 3. Haley said 4. What about the room, Amy?
5, 3, 3, 3, 6.
7. We got a 7, a 3, a 3, a 3. That's my guess. I was going to say 3.
You guys ready for me to disclose the answer?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so the answer is 6. You guys guessed really well. I can show you where all of them are if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Yes.
All right.
So Nicole, Alejandra, and someone else got
You guys guessed really, really well. All right, so here's the first one. Here's the second one.
Oh, the ofs. I missed all the ofs.
Me too.
Yes.
That's why I only had 3. I missed all 3 ofs. Wow.
Yep. and right there. It's very
They all said
interesting.
the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy to miss them. But you guys guessed really well. Good job.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, amazing how the mind works. Wow.
Yeah, the first time I did it too, I missed it and I was like, what? And then I just kind of went back and I'm like, oh, the ofs, they'll get you every time.
So can you share a little bit, Alex? Is this like showing what a reading disability is like, or just what is this one showing us?
Yeah, it would kind of go back to learning cognitive. But not to say you guys have a learning or cognitive disability, but it's and just to kind of test your awareness. So when like we're reading, sometimes we just kind of like miss stuff, and it's okay. It's normal. But yeah, that's kind of the purpose of this exercise. Do you guys have any questions? There's a lot more exercises I like wanted to do, but it would require having like some props, and we don't really, that would have been too much to ask. But if you guys do want, I can share the activities with your agency, and then you can disperse it out if you'd like. But
Yeah,
there's
we
a
like
lot
to...
of
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, there's a lot of really interesting ones. There's some that kind of will go over like physical disability, like the different like types of disabilities, and they're fun, they're interesting. So I'm
And we
happy
do
to
have
share.
some dyslexia ones. We had a question in the room about dyslexia, and spacing can make a difference in how you read dyslexia. And so any document that we have to send to the governor's office has to be in the Century Gothic font, because it is easier for people with dyslexia to read, which was something that we did not know initially. But the way it's spaced and the way the lines work on it, it's much easier for people with dyslexia to read. So that's just a handy little tip that I'm passing on. At 12 point or bigger. 12 point or bigger. And we try to do 14 where we can, but never below 12. Like we had a legislative staff briefing, and our research division made all these beautiful charts for us, and it was like 8.5 font. I'm like, who is going to read? Like, I don't have a disability and I can't read this. So we do try to make it larger and easier for people, for sure. And then one of the activities that I would have loved to have done, but it's hard to do in a hybrid setting, is you put a pair of socks on your hands and you try to open a piece of candy in a wrapper. And you would be surprised at something that seems like such a small physical limitation is dramatically limiting to what you can and can't do. And that Twix suddenly just becomes completely impossible to get to. And it's just a simple piece of cloth over your hands. And so someone could have a simple, numbness or spasticity or different issues in their hands or legs or that sort of thing, and it can dramatically affect their lives and how they deal with things. So,
and even to kind of go off of what Amy said, like if you had socks on your hands and you were trying to tie your shoe or go through a stack of papers, it's almost like the same effect. It's really interesting, but it would have been a little difficult to do, like she said, in a Zoom setting.
Sign in and bring socks. We thought, what is wrong with this presenter?
Yeah. But it's something, if you're like interested in trying, it's a very interesting one. I know in October, this CHP, they host, it's like for disability awareness, employee awareness month. They'll have like booths out in front of the Capitol, and DDS does have a booth, and I know the DAC's been participating, but we'll like do some of those activities where, we can bring socks and candy or papers and things like that, and we'll have people come by and do the activities, and it's been pretty successful. So if you guys are in Sacramento and in October, you're able to come down to the Capitol, come check us out. We'll do some more of these activities in downtown. It's fun.
And we'll have candy. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right. Are there any questions in the chat, JJ?
Yeah, there is one from Lisa. Do you have a fact sheet on best practices for drafting Word documents, PowerPoints, printed materials, etc., for accessibility?
We have so much information on that, but we actually find that our sister department, Department of Rehab, has the best like kind of summary one-pager items on that. So we can share the link with folks so that you can have that. I mean, I like our stuff too. Don't get me wrong. It's good. It's thorough, but for just a quick overview, Rehabs is really good.
Oh, Lisa says, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? JJ, do you want to maybe share a little bit about a connection between our two departments that people may not have ever thought of?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So a lot of you might know this or might not, but in October of 2017, one of our state-operated facilities, Sonoma Developmental Center, located near the town of Sonoma, there was a huge fire, and there were people that lived there. There was 241 individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities who had to be evacuated. It literally happened, it was the second weekend of October. I think it was the 10th. And the only reason I know this is the day before, the residents that lived there and the staff were recognized as the grand marshals of the local parade. And so a lot of us were out there celebrating, and then we all went home that evening, went to sleep, and woke up in the middle of the night being told that we had to evacuate because a fire was coming our way from Napa, California. And so all the employees, we all had to start showing up literally the middle of the night and just getting people into buses. We evacuated into the town of Sonoma, and then 2 days later, they told us the fire was coming into the town of Sonoma. So we ended up being evacuated for almost exactly 2 weeks to the Dixon May Fairgrounds, which is run by Pat, your CEO, who was incredible. And so we basically spent 2 weeks there. It was the employees and the residents, and we had a team come in. Amy, was it from San Jose or the East Bay? It was
the East
center?
Bay. It was a incident command team of fire chiefs from a bunch of East Bay area things, and so we turned the fairgrounds into a mobile hospital.
Yes,
it was incredible, and nobody thought we could do what we did at that time, especially not Pat. God bless her and her patience.
Absolutely.
For that. Go ahead, JJ.
Oh, just so when we got there, it was basically just us. We didn't have anything, but at some point, like the National Guard, we had Highway Patrol just kind of protecting all the entrances of all these organizations, federal, state, local, assisting us. So eventually we started having like accessible bathrooms coming in and showers and different types of equipment that, you know, the residents who lived at Sonoma Developmental Center could utilize there. And I remember your guys' secretary, Karen, what's her name? Yes. She came because she was, you know, wanted to be there to see if we needed any assistance, as well as other secretaries. It was just an incredible experience. And so just thank you to you guys. You know, you were a big part of that for us. And you provided us a home for, God, I think it was like 12 or 13 days before we were able to come back to Sonoma. And it's an experience I don't think any of us who lived it will ever forget. And it was just, like I said, the incredible amount of organizations that came together to just, you know, do what they could for the men and women who resided at Sonoma Developmental Center. And I think for the employees as well. It was just incredible. So thank you.
Yes. And Pat was absolutely incredible. At the time, we were completely taking over her facility, and she started with, oh, don't go on the grass, and wound up with just no control over anything. And she did it graciously and wonderfully. But years later, she approached us and said, hey, I'm creating an autism sensory section for the Mayfair this year, and I'd love to get some volunteers from DDS to do it. And of course, we had people that were all over it, but the lessons learned from the interactions with the folks from the evacuation turned into something actionable and amazing that Pat was able to do for the larger community and to embrace the neurodiversity around her. So we were really, really impressed by that.
Yeah. The other part that was really impressive.
Nice.
Yeah. The other part, her last name is Conklin. She's just amazing. But the other thing we learned that was really amazing is when you guys have the fair at the Dixon May Fairgrounds in May, they actually have a couple days where it's open just for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So it was really a cool opportunity because some of the residents wanted to go back and be at the fair. And so we all went back, and it was it was a trip to be there after we had been there, living there for
Right.
2 weeks.
It was a little weird to go around and go, okay, I can have a churro instead of, where the emergency generator is and everything. But and I think we've got a lot of lifelong Dixon Mayfair participants now out of it because they enjoyed their experience so much, and they just have a soft spot in their heart for it, and so they go back every year for Mother's Day. So
yeah,
wonderful. Thank you for sharing that story. That really represents, I would just say, one of the highest uses of our fairgrounds.
Yes.
Serving a population like that, and everybody always thinks of the rodeo or the
right
fairs, but those fairgrounds are really important to the communities.
So true.
And it's important to look for ways to serve the communities that are outside the box and thinking in different ways. And this is just a really special story. I'm so grateful that we were able to give that support. So thanks for giving us the opportunity and also helping us be better and looking at accessibility in a different way, particularly with that fair. Now I want to go back and find out if other fairs have open for people with developmental disabilities. And thank you for this entire presentation.
You're very, very welcome. I really appreciate everyone who signed in for this, and it's great to get to share what we all do every day over there right behind you at Department of Developmental Services. So are there any other questions? Yes. Yeah, that's fantastic. We actually talked a little bit earlier in the presentation. We have a new webinar series called Think Differently, and it's about diversity in hiring and how different programs can help people get hired in state employment. So the target audience is hiring managers and supervisors. The next presentation is going to be on April 8th, and we're going to share the information with everyone. But there are programs through the Department of Rehabilitation, as well as programs through the Department of Developmental Services that are 100% geared at creating those employment opportunities for people that are differently able. Anything else? Did that answer enough for you? It is. It's a challenge. There's a lot of misconceptions and stigma around it, and people think it's harder than it really is. Oh, I have to hire a job coach. Oh, I have to do this. No, you don't have to do any of that. That's taken care of through the state processes. The internship program is fantastic. It's designed to let somebody work in a position, see if it works for them, see if it works for you. The goal is to turn it into full-time employment, but if it doesn't work out, or somebody decided, oh, this line of work isn't really for me, they got that kind of sampler platter experience, and then they can move on and do something else with it. So it's nice to be able to kind of test it out both ways, from the employer perspective and the employee perspective.
Oh, I have something I have to share. Is it okay real quick?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't share. Oh, yes, I can. Here we go. Ready? So look at this photo. I found it.
Oh.
So that's Pat. She's the CEO of the fair. That's Karen, your guys' secretary, and Amy Wall.
That was so cool. And I was so jazzed at that time because my sister was a dairy inspector. So I'm like, I was hanging out with your boss. And she was like, what? I'm like, yeah. Just, hanging out with the director. She was so kind and gracious and just really smart questions and figuring out things. I mean, it's a place designed to, display jam and art and different things. And we had hospital beds and privacy screens and oxygen concentrators and just all kinds of different things that we had to bring in to make it work. And we had a section for kind of the nursing folks, and then we had a section for the folks that have kind of more behaviors. And that was a whole different set of challenges and what.
Yeah.
And
so like literally the room that you guys use, you know, at fairs where you have a bunch of vendors come in and they're selling things, that became like our location for our skilled nursing homes. And then the other area where I think you used maybe for like a flower display or something, that became for our intermediate care facility homes. It was incredible. I mean, we made the best of it. We had a lot, there was a lot of fun that we had. So yeah, thank you to everybody. You know, it was a horrible situation, but you know, we made the best of it.
Yes, really, really, for sure. And it was fantastic because a lot of our folks in the medical side of Sonoma Developmental Center have challenges with breathing. So smoke was a big issue. So Dixon doesn't seem right around the corner from Sonoma, but we had to get people away from the smoke. So it was really turned out to be an ideal location. All right.
Thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. With that, I think we'll close it out, give you a couple minutes back in your day. Is there any closing comments that you need to? Okay.
Just thank everybody for being here. Thanks everyone for being here to present, for participating today, and thank you to all of our friends in other departments who came and made this a success as well. So everybody have a great rest of your day and keep an eye out for future events from the CDFA DAC. Thank you so much.